Bort? Oh, come on, Bort?
Mommy, buy me a license plate!
No, come along, Bort.
Hello and welcome to the Bort Experience. I'm your host, Cody Galat, and today we are on episode 24, season 2, episode 11 of The Simpsons, One Fish, Two Fish, Blowfish, Bluefish. It was originally written by Neil Scoville and directed by Wesley Archer. And it originally aired in Fox in the United States in January 24th, 1991. The chalkboard gag is "I will not cut corners," and then there's like little quotation marks as Bart is cutting corners by not actually writing out all the words, which is a very funny joke in my opinion. The couch gag, the couch kind of tips over backwards, and then Maggie pops up from behind. And before I get into the summary of the episode, I kind of jumped a little ahead, but thank you up to 150, I believe 3 or 4 subscribers on YouTube. So thank you so much. So hopefully continue to grow in 2026. So let's get into the summary. The Simpsons go to a new sushi bar where Homer takes a liking to the food and decides to try fugu, which is a poisonous if not cut properly. Homer's fugu is not, as he is not cooked properly, and he's taken to the hospital where he's told that he has 22 hours to live. Homer makes a list of things he wants to do and spends the last days making amends with Grandpa and talking to his children. Homer accepts his fate, but it turns out that he was not poisoned after all, and he vows to live to the fullest. Homer then continues to live life as normal as before. So my thoughts on the episode. I felt like this was a very great episode. There were some really touching moments when Homer actually thinks he's going to die, and the things he's going to miss from his children and his family and his friends. And you really felt that in the episode, especially towards the end. I felt like there was some really great comedic moments as well. I thought it was interesting too that the whole reason this kind of came about was Lisa wanted to try, break up the routine, because they're the type of family. It's like, oh, I think they were on Wednesday, or no, maybe it was Thursday meatloaf night, and then Friday is pork chops. But instead of eating pork chops, they go and try sushi for the first time. I know a lot of people aren't into sushi. I don't mind some sushi. I'm not too adventurous, but I am willing to try, try it, I'm willing to try things, so I thought that was interesting. Homer thinking he wouldn't like it, but then of course he does. I don't know if there's a single food that he doesn't really like, but he's he thinks he's poisoned. I think the characters who are actually cooking the food, the chefs, had some hilarious moments, and I'll get more with those in my best joke of the episode segment coming up. I also just kind of like when the kind of the thought process of like, oh, if I only had 24, or in this case 22 hours to live, what would you do? And a lot of people I think would choose to do things that they enjoy or spend time with family, but then how Homer goes back to living his life. I think a lot of us, maybe we have someone we know that has passed away, or we get a health scare, or someone we know does, and we kind of vow to make a, hey, I'm going to live differently. But I feel like a lot of us, it's hard to do that with the day-to-day grind of just being a human being and having to work and pay bills. And you kind of get lost in what is truly important in this world. And for me this year, I have had some big news that came out, not so good, unfortunately, and it kind of redirected me and what am I going to do? And that can kind of focus you, and you can say, hey, I'm going to take this opportunity to move forward and be positive and do something different. And I'm going to do it. And I kind of don't have a choice in the matter, but sometimes you have things in life that happen where you don't have a choice, but you just have to either pivot or react to keep going. And I have a family, so I have to keep going. And this episode really spoke to me, especially, like I said, I won't go into detail, but just with some of the personal things that I've got going on in my life where things aren't going according to plan, but I'm pivoting, and hopefully things in 2026 will look a lot brighter, and I'm gonna be more happy, and I think my family overall will be more happy with the direction we're going. Um, but like I said, overall, a really great episode, and I think this kind of goes into. I'm gonna skip ahead to the interesting fact of the episode, and it's more what kind of shows up on screen, and it's Homer's list of what he wants to accomplish pretty much before he dies. I'm going to go through the list and then kind of talk about them in reference to the actual episode. So number 1, make a list. It's crossed out. Number 2, eat a hearty breakfast. Number 3, make a video for Maggie. Number 4, have man-to-man with Bart. Number 5, listen to Lisa play her saxophone. Number 6, make funeral arrangements. Number 7, make peace with Dad. Number 8, beer with his boys at the bar. Number 9, tell off his boss. Number 10, go hang gliding. Number 11, plant a tree. And number 12, a final dinner with my beloved family. And then after he talks to Marge, be intimate with Marge. And then Marge adds, watch the sunrise. It makes you kind of wonder like what your list would be, what you would want to do. I think for me personally, I would just want to spend as much time as I could with my wife and my son, and just do the things that we enjoy doing, and just try to be with them as much as possible that day. And then also maybe have some of my favorite meals. I think would be what I would want to do. And then I don't think I necessarily need to go anywhere crazy, but just us to be together. I think would be for me. I like it how it's hilarious that Homer sleeps in and like snoozes his alarm, and Marge lets him sleep in until 11:30. So kind of already starting off the bat like, with less time than he thought he was going to have. I also found it very funny that he connects with his dad, Abe Simpson, and instead of just being kind of leaving it at that, his dad wants to go fishing and play in the mud and play catch, and then Homer kind of gets bored. And he's like, "Man, you're being a little too much," And I feel it's really funny to me that took up most of his actual daytime like activities he wanted to do. But fortunately, he gets to tell off his boss, Mr. Burns, because he thinks he's gonna die. He says, "Yeah, sure, I'll go to your barbecue tomorrow, Flanders." So I just think it's funny, like. It kind of reminds me of that mentality I remember when people thought the world was going to end, I think in like 2012, and there was a show where people were just racking up credit card debt. I think they were called like Doomsday Preppers. I don't even know if that's still a show or not, but they made all these things. They're like, oh, who cares? The world's going to end, so money, we're not going to have to owe any of this. And of course, the world kept going. So it makes me think about people like that just say, well, there's not going to be a tomorrow, but then if there is, what are you going to do about it? So I thought that was a really interesting fact for that segment. Okay, we'll go to Citizens of Springfield. Of course, we have Dan Castanella as Homer, Simpson, Abe, Barney Gumble. We have Julie Carvener as Marge, Nancy Cartwright as Bart, Yardley Smith as Lisa, Hank Azarian as Mo Sizlak and Chief Wiggum, Harry Shearer as Ned Flanders, Mr. Burns, and Waylon Smithers. Guest stars, we have Saab Momo, sorry if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, Master Sushi Chef, Larry King as himself, George Katai as Akira, and then Diane Tanaka as the hostess. And then for the MVP of the episode, if it wasn't clear already, I am giving it to Homer Simpson. I thought it was a great episode for him because not only did he do things kind of for himself, but he had a thing for each of his family members, which I think if you're watching the show up to this point, you might kind of think, oh, he might just go to the bar and get drunk the entire time. I like how, when it boils down to it, they really are a family, and they really do care about each other. And I love that they gave him that chance to show the love he has for his family. And I think that's why he deserves the MVP, and the episode mainly focused on him as well. The best joke, I kind of alluded to this. It's when the master sushi chef takes a break. It doesn't ever say her name, but you see Edna Krabappel in a car. And when Homer orders the fogu, and the apprentice is like, hey, he goes out to his master. So that's setting the scene. So we have apprentice, But master, we need your skilled hands. Master chef, my skilled hands are busy. The master chef making the pretzel with Mrs. Krabappel. So I thought that was just so funny because, I don't know, it's just one of those like kind of ridiculous things, and just how he said like, my master hands are busy. I thought that was great. So, all right, and it is time for my favorite segment, trivia. All right. Question. Troy McClure says that as an actor, his eyeballs need to look like what? Again, Troy McClure says that as an actor, his eyeballs need to look like what? All right. Subscribe, like, and check out full episodes on Mondays at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the answer. But since you're here, here we go. Their whitest. Thought that was hilarious. A great character who we got introduced to the voice actor last episode. So, but until next time, I hope everyone has a great holidays, and let me know in the comments below. And I hope you all have a great Christmas if you celebrate, and any other holidays. And until next time, peace out.